Tracy here, and it's been a little bit since I've had the time to do a video, but today I wanted to actually do a recap of a trade that I took on Friday last week on Apple. I don't really want to back trade it. I just want to go over it because it was a pretty straightforward textbook trade. The point that I want to bring out is really how to manage the trade and how I pick my levels. So that's the first trade that I want to go over today. So as you can see, I've already pulled it back to what I was looking at pre-market. This was the prior day candle, created a new high, gapping up into all-time highs. Apple's bullish. People have been just plowing into this thing pre-split date. And so this is kind of where I was looking at. I had the all-time high marked, I had the prior day low marked, I have pre-market high, and nothing really in addition to that. And so now if I go to I was actually playing the 2 minute. So look at the 2 minutes and go back to, it was Friday the 22nd. Sorry, Friday the 21st at 9:30. And I'm just going to show you, here's the pre-market. So we had the pre-market high right here. Pre-market low is consolidating, and I actually had my pre-market high marked right in this area here. And I want to mention something right now because this is a really neat feature of TradingView that they just added. You notice the light blue, and then there's the darker green. You're now able to split your pre-market into after hours and pre-hours or pre-market hours, which I like because as far as I'm concerned, what I care about is the pre-market, not necessarily the aftermarket, because things can change. And I'll set more levels up in those two areas. So prior to this little break right here, I actually had a resistance right here. And then coming closer, about 9:08, it started to break higher, which I thought was pretty good. It retested that resistance, which I liked. So now if we go into, I'm going to take the extended hours off, which means I have to go back to time and replay it because I don't trade with my after hour, or sorry, my extended hours on. So the first candle comes in, which was nice and bullish. It broke above that pre-market high, great. And then this candle comes in. Now I love this pattern, which is why I played it. It's a pattern that I'll look for regularly, but I can't always find it. It closed above the VWAP, showed bullishness, created kind of a consolidation, looking for a 3 minute, possibly a 5 minute breakout. I just like I like this pattern. I like this consolidation. It closed closer to the high of this bullish candle. That tells me that it's got some strength. So I entered my trade as a breakout, and I entered it at 479.84 with a stop of 476.26. Now, a few things. I don't have any levels. We're in we're in the all-time highs. So what I decided to do was at 1R, I'll take a partial. And then at 2R, I'll take a partial. 3R, I'll take a partial, etc. And might even, next one I'll be at 4R, unless I find some other levels as it's progressing. I'll take a partial. But these are the levels that I had set up once I entered the trade. And so then I'm just going to skip forward because, like I said, it was a textbook trade. The very next candle I get triggered in, and I didn't like that candle because it did get rejected, but the following candle, the following 2 minute candle, came in really strong with increasing volume, liked it, so I stayed in. And again, I played the 2 minute. Now, like the candle here, as soon as I get across of that partial right there, so I took my first partial, and once I took my first partial, I moved my stop basically to below this candle right here. And then I let it play out. So from there, and what I was looking for as well is if it closed below the VWAP. If it closed below the VWAP, I would have moved my stop up to break even. But for now, I'm just playing it through. Consolidated, and again, I'm on the 2 minute, right? There's my second partial with strength. Like I said, this was a really strong move. My third partial was taken there, by the way. Now, we've got a little bit of a pennant happening here, and what happens is it starts to break down a little bit. Okay, and then once this candle came in and it did not close above the high here, I decided to take all. I moved my stop to 492.29. I actually moved my stop to I got filled anyway at 492.29 to take all. That's where I got filled. Yeah, and that was the next candle that I got. Actually, no, what I did is once these candles started to come in and it hadn't made a new high here, I moved my stop right up into this level right there and got stopped out right there. So that's how I played this trade. Now, obviously, it went much further later on, but it did a pretty big retrace. The reason I exited here, first of all, I already had a good gain. I had a very good gain. We're into all-time highs. It's already gone up quite a bit. It looked like it had already made like its average true range as well. So when this started to kind of double top, I figured it's slowed down. I didn't think it had enough in it to keep going. I also don't trade typically in the afternoon anymore, not while my son's in school. So I ended up getting out and exiting there. Otherwise, I would have held on to this trade if I could stay and watch it or monitor it throughout the day. I might have just moved my stop up to perhaps this level as long as I kept it below the VWAP and let it run. But I wanted to lock in the gains. So that's what I did. And as you can see, later on in the afternoon, it takes another pop. Stays above the VWAP the entire time. I'm actually going to switch to a 5-minute chart so we don't have to. And here's the pop, and it just keeps going at that point. We're coming into the end of the day, and I would have been out for sure right there. So I really didn't get that much more on the trade, or that much less on the trade, I should say, because I exit everything by 3:30. And there we go. So that's the end of the day. That was the run up. That was Apple. That's how I chose my levels. It's what I was wanting to see throughout the trade and how I managed the trade. I took a 10%, 10%, 10%, and then I took all of it at the stop. All right.